Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a massive, fundamental rewrite of the retail rulebook by one of the biggest apparel giants on the planet, Nike. You know, this isn't just another story about selling sneakers. Not at all. It's a masterclass in how a legacy brand literally walked away from a massive, guaranteed wholesale network to bet its entire future on one single thing: you.
Think about it. For decades, the strategy for sports apparel was brutally simple, right? Flood the zone. You wanted to see those swooshes on literally every rack, in every mall, and in every big box sporting goods store across the globe. It was an absolute license to print money. So why on earth would a global juggernaut suddenly initiate a massive breakup with thousands of reliable retailers? Why intentionally step away from the very places everyday people actually go to shop?
Well, let's get into it. Section 1. The Great Retail Divorce.
Which brings us to Section 2, Ditching the Middleman.
Okay, so under the old wholesale model, Nike essentially traded brand control for sheer volume. Imagine their premium, super carefully engineered athletic gear just jumbled up on a messy clearance rack right next to off-brand socks and, deflated basketballs. They had absolutely zero say in how the product was presented. But here's the real kicker. In that old model, Nike didn't actually know who was buying their shoes. The local department store scooped up all that incredibly valuable customer data. Now, picture the new way: Nike Direct flagship stores. These places are engineered like high-end luxury tech boutiques. Nike gets complete, uncompromising brand control from the second you walk through those doors, right down to the dramatic lighting on their newest release, all the way to the moment you lace them up.
Moving on to Section 3. Data is the new gold. So instead of some local sports shop keeping your purchase history locked away in a dusty filing cabinet, Nike now collects your preferences directly. And they do it through this beautifully designed, deeply interconnected ecosystem of apps. It's kind of like a digital dragnet. Whether you're browsing everyday wear on the main Nike app or, setting 3 different alarms to frantically try and, let's be real, probably fail to get those limited edition drops on the SNKR's app, or even just logging to 5K on the Nike Run Club, Nike is constantly gathering granular insights. They know you prefer neon colorways, they know you play basketball on Tuesday nights, and this is wild. They can actually calculate exactly when the physical tread on your running shoes is wearing out. That means they can ping you with a notification for a new pair right when you need it most. Crazy, right?
This brings us to the absolutely profound power of direct data. By collecting consumer information organically from your daily habits, the brand can personalize marketing and predict global trends with, frankly, surgical precision. It allows a massive apparel company to move from just kind of guessing what might eventually sell on a crowded department store shelf to actually knowing exactly what you want to buy before you even search for it. It's a fundamental evolution. We're talking a massive leap from reactive retail straight into proactive retail.
All right, Section 4. Premiumization and profit margins.
Let's look at the stark financial reality of cutting out the middleman here, because the math is genuinely staggering. Look at this chart. Under the old wholesale model, when Nike sells a $100 shoe to a third-party retailer, that retailer has to take a huge cut just to keep their own lights on, right? So Nike might only walk away with $50 in actual profit. But when they sell that exact same $100 shoe directly to you on Nike.com or in one of their own flagship stores, they keep practically the entire $100. By just removing the retailer from the equation, they're literally doubling their profit margin on a single item. Scale that up across millions of shoes sold globally every year, and yeah, that is billions of dollars in newly found revenue.
Premiumization and profit. Honestly, these two words are the beating heart drivers behind this monumental shift in strategy. By going direct, Nike gets to completely control its own narrative. They don't have to sit next to discount brands on a crowded wall anymore. They can present their sneakers not just as gym equipment, but as high-end luxury lifestyle products. Think less dusty sporting goods store and way more Apple store. Elevating the brand's prestige while simultaneously doubling profit margins per item, that is an incredibly powerful 1-2 punch that completely redefines their corporate ceiling. But it's not all easy money. Section 5. The risks of going solo. Yeah, going solo is definitely not a guaranteed slam dunk. It introduces billion-dollar operational hazards that would absolutely bankrupt lesser companies. First up, logistics. By leaving smaller retailers behind, Nike suddenly has to shoulder this massive burden of managing every single warehouse, complicated shipping route, and last-mile delivery all by themselves. It's a huge headache. Second, inventory. In the past, wholesalers bought in bulk months in advance, essentially eating all the risk. Now, if a highly anticipated new shoe design totally flops, and we've seen it happen, Nike is left holding the bag, paying to store a mountain of dead, unsold stock. And finally, consumer loss. There's a very real risk of alienating everyday shoppers. People get app fatigue. They refuse to download 5 different brand apps, and sometimes they just want the old-school convenience of browsing a mall to compare brands side by side. Surviving this transition requires a relentless, staggering amount of operational investment.
Yet, despite those towering logistical risks and supply chain hurdles, the transformation is undeniable. Actually, Nike is no longer just a company that makes sneakers and t-shirts. Nope. They've quietly morphed into a fully realized, data-driven tech and lifestyle giant. By fiercely owning the consumer relationship, they've proven a vital lesson for the modern retail landscape. The most valuable asset in the world isn't just the physical product you sell. No way. It's the direct, unmediated, unfiltered connection to the person buying it.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought about your own habits, especially as the entire future of retail just keeps rapidly changing around us. When you're spending your hard-earned money, do you actually prefer this highly curated, personalized, direct experience right from your phone? Or, honestly, do you genuinely miss the vast variety, the comparison shopping, and the kind of chaotic charm of the classic big box shoe store? It's a massive question that every major brand on earth is currently trying to figure out. Thanks for joining me today, and keep questioning how the world around you is being designed.